The first time you ride a bike on Mars, it feels like cheating. You're gliding, floating even. The pedals push back gently, the wheels barely skim the surface, and when you hit a bump, you don't bounce, you fly. Imagine Earth's gravity unshackled, like someone turned the weight dial down to 1/3. Now imagine that you're 10 again, and someone just gave you a mech. That's what cycling on Mars feels like. Rovers handled transport, and walking was the default. Everything else was a luxury. Oxygen was rationed, dust was lethal, and movement outside the domes, dangerous and slow. Narrow ridges, steep valleys, unstable terrain, not great for rovers, and to spread out for foot traffic. People started improvising. At first it was children, strapping together carbon tubing and terrain tires, experimenting in dome basements. Then engineers took notice. A few prototypes later, something clicked. It's hard to explain unless you've been there. But it wasn't always like this. Back in Sol Year 7 only, a few decades after the first Martian habitats stabilized bikes warranty, even part of the plan. Some bikes even had passive solar mesh woven into their frames, soaking up sunlight during rides to charge oxygen filters and HUDs. But then came Settlement 3B, the dust sink. It was an old mining site at the rim of Valles Marineris, repurposed into a civilian colony, as fine as smoke, charged with static electricity and sharp enough to wear down steel. He custom-built his bike using parts from a decommissioned AI rover. It has sand-adaptive legs that fold out during vertical climbs. He's known to race storm fronts, delivering sealed oxygen vials between biofarms. Her bike, Skycaser, is legendary, blue-tinted with plasma arc stripes, equipped with micro-thrusters for balance control. She runs Pedal and Pulse, the first Martian cafe. Bike shop hybrid. Every evening, riders stop by to sip pressure-brewed coffee, swap stories, and admire the holographic mural of the first canyon race. The red line runs span across plains and lava tubes, domes to crater rims, and sometimes go deep into ancient riverbeds where no rover dares to travel. It's a human on two wheels that saves the day. One such story rider, 228, name unknown, once biked 47 kilometers through an ion storm to deliver medical supplies to a failing outpost. The message etched into the box: trust the pedals. A trail of riders, helmets glowing, tires casting long shadows under twin moons Phobos, darting above like a watchful drone, and Dymas slow and steady, always watching. In the workshops, Martian riders don't just color their bikes, they encode them. The dust and the road ahead. Engineers fused Earth techniques with Martian materials, guided by micropulse terrain mapping. Advanced AI companions whisper terrain data into your helmet. Some say that in a few years the soul of it remains grounded. You'll be able to link your bike to your neural implant steering with thought alone. Some flash warning signals during sandstorms. Others pulse with rider vitals or GPS flares. One model even syncs with Mars' electromagnetic field. Don't just think of rovers and science stations. They think of tracks in the dust. Think of neon helmets and trail lights under a foreign sky. Think of laughter carried on solar winds, of tires spinning over the bones of a planet rediscovered. The silence of thin air, the soft hum of carbon wheels against alien soil, that's what draws riders back, again and again. It's not just about efficiency. It's not even about freedom. It's about belonging, about making Mars your home, not through colonization, but through motion, through joy. Creating aurora-like flares while speeding through magnetic ridges. Components were crafted using focused laser sintering of basalt dust. Handlebars were shaped with pressure-formed alloys harvested from the subsurface caves. And the seats weren't padded, they were memory-aligned, syncing with each rider's bone structure. The most daring cyclists ride the old crash zones, places where Earth probes failed decades ago, now reclaimed by Martian youth as trails of memory. It's tradition to leave your tire tread printed on the cafe floor, hundreds of overlapping tracks in the red dust tell the story of the community. She runs a mentorship program now, teaching kids in low-grav simulators how to land safely in thin air. Traditional chains and gears didn't last a week. Bearings jammed. Lubricants froze. Rubber corroded. By Sol Year 10, bikes were everywhere. But not Earth bikes. These were different. Had to be different. The red dust that blankets Mars isn't just dirty, it's alive in a way. So Martians got inventive. Frame materials were printed from regolith-infused carbon lattice, stronger than steel, lighter than air. Magnetic seals kept dust away from core systems. Tires used memory foam compounds that shifted shape depending on terrain, soft and wide for sand plains, rigid and thin for canyon trails. Chains were replaced with microdrive belts, powered by ultra-efficient pedal-to-torque converters, adapted from tech used in space station gyros. Suspension systems didn't bounce, they flowed, channeling shock into tiny kinetic batteries that powered lights or heated gloves. You didn't just ride these bikes, you wore them, lived with them, and the riders. They became something else, too. There's May, a trailblazer from East Dome 12. She was the first to launch a full aerial loop over the cryo ridges. Then there's Joe Gearburner, Rami, courier by trade, smuggler by reputation, and Amara community. That's the heart of it. Every Sunday, just before the solar flare alerts kick in, settlements organize group rides. At night, when the atmosphere shimmers with auroras and solar wind, cyclists gather for moonrise. But cycling on Mars isn't just a thrill, it's survival. Bike messengers often beat automated systems in emergencies. When communication lines go down in a storm, or a solar surge fries rover systems, even building the bikes became an art form. In the paint? Specialized pigments shift under UV. Future models go even further. Experimental prototypes now hover for brief moments, but even as the tech grows wild, you've feeling that rush of speed. So next time you picture Mars, think of the Red Planet rollers. Maybe imagine yourself in that saddle, riding the edge of a new frontier.